Michael, we're here at the WBC lunch. Maurizio Suleiman, a good friend of yours now. You've been presented with the WBC Honour Award. I mean, it's good to be here.
Spence, what a privilege it is for me to be here. The force is back massively. And it's good to be back into the spotlight, what I truly do deserve.
Michael, I want to talk to you about your 30 years on from your accident, your last fight against Chris Eubank. You was wheeled onto that Arsenal football pitch 30 years ago, and you was in a wheelchair, and it was fair to say you was not in the greatest of health. 30 years on, you've moved on, and you walked on there unaided. How did that feel, doing that walk back onto that pitch? That must have been something special.
It was truly overwhelming. 30 years since I've been pushed on a wheelchair on that football pitch, of out of mind and out of sight. It was a remarkable miracle recovery that's happened. Me walking onto the football ground, it was truly so overwhelming. It touched my heart to the deepest.
Michael, it was incredible. I mean, I've been on a lot of this journey with you since your recovery. You done the marathon back in 2000, 2003, was it somewhere around there? You done the marathon. I'd done the last mile with you with Chris Eubank. That was an incredible achievement, you know, that you actually completed that marathon, going from where you've come from to get to there. But that must have been so magical for you walking on that pitch at Arsenal, because you're a big-time Arsenal fan. You've done so much over there, and you're now actually on the wall of Arsenal as well, aren't you? You're inducted on the Wall of Fame there.
Absolutely, you know. What's been happening to me throughout my life since the accident, it's truly made. I've said it once and I'll say it again, Spencer. I thank God Almighty for this accident happening to me, because it's made my life so much more better, and it's given me a purpose on this earth to give people in need, give hope for the hopeless. I am an inspirational figure, inspiring everybody all over the globe. Now, they look at me and to say to me, here comes the miracle man. I'm giving hope for the hopeless in life, and that is the great purpose for me living.
Yeah, Michael, you certainly give hope to me. You know, we went through a similar injury, and medical science improved so much from your injury that it effectively saved my life. You know, you told me about Muhammad Ali coming to visit you in the hospital, you know, and how that helped you massively in your recovery. You done the same for me, and I think had it not been for you, I wouldn't be where I am and how I am today.
You know, just saying that love was coming from you, Spencer. You know, I am a vessel of love to give hope for the hopeless. I'm here to give mankind the push in life. Give them the hope. If I can do it, so can they.
Yeah,
inspiration.
You certainly are a very inspirational person, the most inspirational person I've ever come across. Listen, Michael, I want to talk to you a little bit about boxing today, you know, the heavyweight scene. What do you make of the heavyweight scene today? What do you make of boxing as like when you go back to your day, when people were boxing in your day, when you had, you know, you, Ben, McLennan, you had Chris Eubanks, Steve Collins. There was a pool of depth of talent. Everyone boxed everyone. Now we've got a problem with politics of the sport.
I'm glad you come across with that question. You cannot be old school, Spencer. That's the real deal. How you gonna have 3 world champions at the same weight? In my time, there's gonna be only 1 champion at 1 weight. Only 1 title, on 3. And too much money is involved up to this day. In our day, we get them pissed. We were hungry. Fighters today, they're not hungry to go in the ring. They're just getting overpaid.
You talk about being overpaid. Now we've seen that the Saudis are now getting involved in boxing as well. They've just signed up Alexander Usyk. And we could see a lot more big-time boxing going out to Saudi Arabia because of the money aspect of it. Do you think that's good for the sport or bad?
It's absolutely bad, because it's not the love of the sport itself for the money they're gaining. That's what it is. The money, it's the money that's taking control of the system. Not only in boxing, but all sports in general.
Yeah. Listen, while you're here, mate, I want to ask about these little things here. What's going on here? Talk to me about the beads. I've known you to wear a little bit of bling in your time, you know what I mean? But you've upped the game a little bit here.
You know, it's good to be an inspirational figure for all mankind. I mean, the WBC, they respect me. They just give me a crown from the Pope. You know, they just give me a cross.
This is from the Pope.
From the Pope.
Wow.
From Mauricio, the WBC president.
Wow.
What a privilege to be who I am.
Yeah, it certainly is, Michael. And I tell you what, mate, it's a privilege to have you here at this lunch and listen to your stories, looking at you and how you've recovered is quite phenomenal. I mean, what's next in the pipeline? Please don't tell me it's a return. You're not making a return.
And also, it's good to know good people in my life. Dave Hole, a good friend of mine, and my Kira, Harun Topolak. Without him being by my side, I wouldn't be in the shape I'm in.
I know Haroon's taking you down the gym, mate. I've seen you doing a little bit down there with Jimmy Tibbs and that. What's going on here, mate? You
Can I punch it?
Hey, what's going on here, mate? What's going on here, mate?
You know, Harun Topolak, he's a man sent from God above. He's done a remarkable job for me. He's the one-man army. A bit of watches, Spencer. Oh, so put your lights out.
You're making me nervous, mate. I've seen you look at me like that before. You make me nervous.
It's a big stomach. Come on, gotcha.
Wait, listen, just quickly before we go, Michael, I wanted to just ask you about the heavyweights, the current heavyweights at the moment. Who do you see as the number one, and who do you see emerging as the number one if they all box?
Tyson Fury. You know, as a man, he's got the old school mentality. Look what he done to Deontay Wilder. He had no fear. He put his trust in God Almighty, and that's where he got the power. He's got a force of the spirit within him. He fears nobody.
Brilliant. Listen, Michael, I've dragged you away from your dinner. You've only got to have your pudding. You only got to have your pudding. I don't know if you need that, mate, but...
I've been to the toilet already.
Well, listen, it's always great speaking to you, Michael, and thanks so much for being here.
It's great spanking to me, or speaking.
Have a good day, mate.
You've had too much to drink.
Speaking of it.